In the early hours of November 21, 2025, SpaceX's Starbase was rocked by a violent explosion that shattered the calm of the Texas coast. The incident occurred during a high-stakes pressure test of Starship Booster 18, a crucial step before any flight could be attempted. The blast tore open the lower section of the booster, sending debris flying and leaving twisted metal in its wake, a dramatic reminder of the ever-present risks in rocket development. Fortunately, no one was injured in the explosion. But the destruction of this first V3 hardware was a major setback for the ambitious Starship program. Booster 18 was meant to showcase SpaceX's next leap forward in rocket technology, representing months of design and engineering. Its failure now raises tough questions about the new design's integrity and the challenges of scaling up to the next generation. The test, conducted without engines, was supposed to validate the structure and pressurization systems under extreme conditions. Instead, it exposed critical weaknesses, forcing engineers to reconsider their approach and return to the drawing board. SpaceX's rapid public test and learn approach means failures are part of the process, but this one stings, halting progress before flight even began and putting the spotlight on the risks of innovation. Now engineers must sift through the wreckage and mountains of data to pinpoint exactly what went wrong, a painstaking process that will delay the entire V3 program and impact future timelines. For SpaceX, every failure is a lesson, painful, but essential on the road to Mars and the Moon. Each setback brings new insights, fueling the relentless drive to push boundaries and achieve the extraordinary. In the wake of the Booster 18 incident, the Starship program found itself at a critical crossroads. The explosion not only damaged hardware, but also shook confidence in the aggressive pace SpaceX had set for itself. SpaceX quickly pushed back its next major test flight, Starship Flight 12, to early 2026. This delay was more than just a scheduling change. It signaled a period of deep reassessment and renewed caution for the entire team. Hopes for a January launch faded as regulatory and technical hurdles mounted, making a February attempt the earliest realistic target. Each new requirement from the FAA and each technical fix added precious weeks to the timeline. The focus now shifts to Booster 19, which must pass the same rigorous tests that doomed its predecessor. Engineers are poring over every detail, determined to avoid repeating past mistakes. Each step, stacking, pressure checks, engine installation, carries risk and potential delay. Even a minor setback in any of these phases could cascade into months of additional waiting. The world, and NASA in particular, are watching closely, as this flight will debut the upgraded V3 hardware. Success here is crucial, not just for SpaceX, but for the future of lunar and Mars missions. Any delay here ripples through the entire Starship roadmap, pushing back milestones like in-orbit refueling and lunar lander development. The domino effect could impact Artemis timelines and international partnerships. Regulatory filings prevent any launch before January 23, 2026, setting a hard floor for the schedule. No matter how ready the hardware is, paperwork and approvals now dictate the earliest possible liftoff. SpaceX must now balance speed with caution, knowing that every slip affects not just their plans, but NASA's as well. The pressure to deliver is immense, with every stakeholder watching the clock. The Starship program's rhythm has been disrupted, and restoring momentum will take time. The once relentless pace has given way to a more measured, careful approach. The stakes have never been higher for SpaceX's ambitious timeline, as every decision now shapes the future of human spaceflight. Starship's delays aren't just SpaceX's problem, they threaten NASA's Artemis program, which is counting on Starship to deliver astronauts to the lunar surface for the first time in over 50 years. The partnership between NASA and SpaceX is crucial, and any setback for one ripples through the entire mission architecture. NASA's ambitious return to the Moon relies on Starship as its lunar lander, making the fate of Artemis and Starship deeply intertwined. If Starship isn't ready, Artemis can't proceed as planned. The Artemis III mission, already under pressure from tight schedules and technical hurdles, now faces even greater uncertainty as the timeline slips further. Every delay compounds the risk of missing key milestones. The biggest technical challenge is orbital propellant transfer, a complex unproven technology that must be demonstrated in space before astronauts can safely land on the Moon. Without this breakthrough, the entire mission architecture is at risk. With V3 hardware delayed and test flights slipping, the mid-2026 target for a critical refueling demo is in jeopardy. This puts not just the timeline, but the entire lunar landing at risk, as every missed deadline pushes the mission further into the future. NASA officials are voicing concern more openly, knowing that each month of delay pushes the moon further out of reach. The pressure is mounting, and the stakes have never been higher for America's lunar ambitions. The US is now in a new space race with China, which is making rapid progress toward its own lunar goals. China's advancements are accelerating, and the competition is fueling urgency on both sides. Every setback at Starbase adds urgency and political weight to the Artemis timeline, drawing attention from lawmakers, the public, and international rivals. The world is watching closely. The race to the moon is once again a matter of national pride and strategic competition, echoing the Apollo era but with new players and higher stakes. The outcome will shape the future of space exploration for decades to come. As SpaceX stumbles, Blue Origin is surging forward, intensifying the competition. In November 2025, Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket notched back-to-back successes, landing boosters and launching key NASA and commercial missions. The company is now planning an even larger New Glenn, aiming to compete directly with Starship. NASA is taking notice, hinting that if SpaceX's delays persist, Blue Origin's Blue Moon lander could become a serious alternative for lunar missions. This rivalry is reshaping the industry, driving innovation, and providing NASA with crucial backup options. For years, SpaceX led the field, but Blue Origin's rapid progress is changing the landscape. The moon race is now a true contest between two billionaire-led giants, each pushing the other to new heights. Competition is fueling progress, ensuring America's lunar ambitions don't rest on a single company. The stakes and the pressure have never been higher. While SpaceX and Blue Origin battle for the future, Boeing's Starliner program is mired in trouble. NASA has cut Starliner's planned missions from 6 to 4, reflecting deep doubts after years of delays and technical failures. The first post-test mission is now cargo-only, with no crewed flights expected before late 2026 at best. Persistent issues, helium leaks, thruster problems, have forced NASA to take a cautious approach, further eroding confidence. With the ISS set to retire around 2030, Starliner's window for relevance is closing fast. Boeing's financial losses are mounting, and the program stands in stark contrast to SpaceX's agile, cost-effective Crew Dragon. The dream of two robust American crew vehicles is fading as Starliner's future grows ever more uncertain. The question now, will Starliner ever fly regular crewed missions, or is it already too late? The financial story behind Starliner and Crew Dragon is just as telling as their technical journeys. Boeing received $4.2 billion for Starliner, over $1.5 billion more than SpaceX's $2.6 billion Crew Dragon contract. Yet SpaceX delivered faster, cheaper, and has flown numerous successful missions since 2020. Crew Dragon is now the ISS workhorse, while Starliner remains grounded, weighed down by cost overruns and delays. Boeing has had to absorb nearly $1.5 billion in extra costs, raising questions about the program's long-term viability. Some in NASA and Congress are even discussing whether Boeing should return part of its funding. The contrast is stark. SpaceX's lean, innovative approach has reshaped the market, while Boeing's legacy model has faltered. In spaceflight, results, not reputation, are what count. The struggles of SpaceX and Boeing highlight the fierce competition shaping America's space future. SpaceX's willingness to fail fast and learn has made it the industry leader, despite setbacks like the Booster 18 explosion. Boeing, once a titan, now lags behind, its Starliner program a cautionary tale of missed opportunities. Blue Origin's rise adds new urgency, giving NASA alternatives and pushing all players to innovate. NASA's reliance on commercial partners is being tested, as delays threaten the Artemis lunar timeline. The race to the moon is a marathon, not a sprint, filled with setbacks, breakthroughs, and shifting fortunes. This new era of competition is forging the future of space exploration where only the most innovative will lead. The journey is tough, but the promise of the final frontier makes every struggle worthwhile.